Yeah, but if it tries to go down there, you try and stop it, though. Here, I'll bring it back over. Dingo, he's like, I'm not babysitting. That's your nephew or your niece. That's Uncle Tango. That's Uncle Tango. Hello. Welcome to my tiny tube. My name is Marge. I'm Heyoka Empath. This is Kitten. Just like to have little talks on the way I feel about things. This is the first day out of their bathroom. They're big enough, so they've been out here gallivanting around all day long. Having a good time, just trying to figure it out, huh? They're doing pretty good. I just had like 4 of them on the cat tree here. That's the little one. That's the one that sits on Mom's lap. One of them comes out and sits on Mom's lap. So if anybody would like a kitten, they're going to be cool cats. I'm going to teach them how to fetch. I'm going to try to. Let's not freaking commit to things that they might not be willing to cooperate in that committal. Another baby. We're figuring it out. Is that me? What's that? Hi, little baby. They all look, I don't know. They all look similar, but they definitely have their own. Look at the little black toes. I love their toes. I think that's my favorite about little baby kittens, is their toes. Stan Lee's not real excited about them, but he always acts like that. He acts standoffish, and then I'll see him like sleeping with them or something. I don't know. Oh, this one's hissing at it. This one's like, I don't know what your attitude is. What are you doing? You pissy? He said, I just had to defend myself. There, how's that? So I called this talk conditioning because I've been thinking a lot about that, because the world has just gone crazy. The world has just gone real nutty. Maybe I should put them away, huh? In the bathroom? Should I put them back? Nah. It's just now starting to cool off. I want them to wear themselves out. Is what I'm trying to get them to do. And there's Tango. Oh, this one's sees the reflection of itself on the phone. Ooh, I should get one of those apps that there's like a mouse or a little thing that runs around the screen and the little cat can chase it. Oh, what did you do? You just retweeted something. Did you? Were you just you little twatter? Anyway, so I called this talk conditioning because the world is so crazy, and I've been thinking, and I remember that because I knew I liked girls from the time that I was 2 years, like probably 3 years, 4 years old. I remember on my dad's side of the family, they like to go to the movies a lot, and I was so bad. I see a pretty lady, and they like to go out to eat and do all that kind of social stuff. And mom, we didn't have any money, so we didn't do that. So I saw dad's side of the family. I thought they were rich. They were comfortable. Grandma was a real estate agent in Tascadero, but I always thought women were pretty and they smelled nicer and stuff like that. I just always was attracted to women. And even at a very young age, and I had weird stuff happen to me. And when weird stuff happens, it starts systems that don't need to be started until way later in life. But it creates problems. But I've learned how to navigate through them in life, but it made it real difficult when I was younger because of all this conditioning, you know. I don't know really the circumstances of my conception and all that, and I do know that when I was born, I didn't meet Mom until I was on the planet for the 3rd day, because they also sterilized her when they took me out cesarean. They cut her uterus in half and took one of her ovaries, which created a great imbalance in her and caused a lot of problems in life for her. And just sucked. Anyway, so and I don't know where the father was. I didn't see. I guess he came down about a week after I was born. So I am legitimately one of those that didn't, have that bonding experience with their parents. Like so many people, like my mom, she didn't have that. I don't think she had that bonding experience with her initial parents because she was born with club feet. And so she just, all her recall is her adoptive parents, the Yokums, Robert and Margaret, who I was named after, in addition to my father's aunt, Margaret. I'm an Aunt Marge too! And, but when it just was real hard because they, like, okay, so I was born, okay, female. They named me Margaret. I always hated Margaret. I was always an old lady's name to me. I didn't like Margaret. I never liked Margaret. But I went by Margie, and as soon as people find out that you don't like Margaret, well, then sure as shit, of course, that's what they're gonna call you from here on out, is Margaret. It's just how it is. So, water off a duck's back, right? Anyway, so like when I was little, I always wanted to. I didn't want to play with dolls and stuff like that. I didn't want to play with the proverbial girl toys. I just wanted to ride my bike and be outside. I was a kid catching frogs and shooting BB guns and getting yelled at to come indoors because it's after dark and all that stuff. I was the tomboy. And yeah, sure, you're playing around. You're out there in the creek, and it's like, man, sure would be nice to be a boy. You think about stuff like that. Just because you don't have to go all the way back into the house to go pee. Because you're in. There's too many houses around. You can't be peeing in the neighborhood. As easy as boys go behind a bush and pee. Anyway, so but it's a lot different. It was a much different then than it is now. It's like people were free to, well, I don't know how free they were. I don't know how free they ever are to try things on, to try, characteristics. Like I think about it, for example, the good girl that likes the bad boy. She's just dabbling with the freaking shadow side of herself. That's all. She's just using him as an outlet, but she don't need him. If people just explain to him that that's what was really happening, the rebellion or whatever kind of thing. People like attract like attracts like. So I always hated it. Like, I'd get stressed out at holidays and stuff like that because I didn't want dolls. And when I was growing up, it was real. I ended up with a freaking Lily was her name. My Cabbage Patch dolls. But I wasn't into dolls and stuff like that. But when I was thinking about it, when I got a little bit older, I think about the conditioning that they had, like boys get trucks and things like that. And see, I always wanted the stuff that the boys got, because I always like taking things apart and putting them back together, and I always like seeing how things work and what drives this to make this do that, and engineering and all that stuff. I love it. And are they trying to get out, Ma? They're just looking out the window? Okay. But it's like they do it with a lot of different things, conditioning. They do it with, like, kids, and like, you find out what I think it's cool that a lot of people wait to find out what their child is at birth, because it just, I don't know, it's a broader spectrum of wonder. It's like I don't know. that's just how I look at it. I never got to have kids or nothing like that. I never really wanted to, because I think my heart would shatter, like that first time they'd say I hate you, because we all say it. Everybody hates their parents at some point in time. Luckily, hopefully, you come back around and end up to be friends later in life, but a lot it doesn't always work out that way. So even when I'd ask for stuff like a sleeping bag, I just want like a Coleman sleeping bag, nothing fancy stuff like that. But then I'd end up with like a strawberry shortcake sleeping bag, because like an outdoor sleeping bag, I wouldn't get in trouble like dragging it outside under a tree, you know. But I couldn't. I mean, who wants to take their strawberry shortcake sleeping bag outside and lay under a tree with their? I did not want that. But so I never really got what I wanted in life. Even when I asked for it, people would be like, "No, I thought you'd like this better," and I'd be like, "Why would I like?" It's funny, man. Human nature cracks me up all the time. It makes me laugh every day. Anyway, so conditioning. They condition. I always think of Tanya. What was her last name? Tanya Patton. You know, they condition little girls to wear the pink and, you know, take care of the babies and cook the food and all that stuff. And then when I was in 6th grade, I got in a fight this girl named Tanya Patton at Deer Creek at the end of the year. We just took a couple swings. I punched her. She tried to hit me, and she was like the toughest girl in school. Anyway, she didn't start junior high, because evidently that summer she ended up getting pregnant, you know. And I was like, oh, another one trained young, you know. Gotta have, you know. Getting attention from, you know, how many little girls grow up freaking, that's like the first thing that they learn is how to get attention. How to get attention. How to get what you want from attention. How many little girls learn that? How many little girls, like the first times in life, some of the first things that they learn how to do is how to manipulate people to get what they want. It's a trip. It is so weird to me. You know? And little boys, you know, gotta be strong, dominant. I know a lot of that's changed now. Now it's a lot more fluid. Now freaking the generations that are coming out now, or you can't tell. I'll ask what their name is. So what's their name? What's their name? And I'll get world's getting crazy. But the conditioning of it is like, but how people were conditioned. Benny, no. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Is substantially now how they're conditioned from the. Now it's weird. I don't know. People have lost a grip. They've lost a grip on their freaking health. They've lost a grip on their initiative. There's not a lot of people that have. I like to go around and teach people how to just do things. And people will do things if you show them. I know. Egos are freaking flaring. Mom's like sitting up in her chair looking out the door. I know, Ma, they're jerks, Ma. They don't care about life. They're hot shots. You know? Until they learn their lesson. Whatever day that is. So I was pretty fortunate that Mom had a couple of earth angels along the way when I was young in my formative years, and they would do things like let her like try it, because it was really important for me to do things in life, even as a young age. I wanted to do it. Let me do it. I want to try it, And I think it's important that rearing any, regardless of the gender, sex, or whatever, is to accentuate the characteristics of the child. If they're inquisitive, if they're like looking into stuff, give them stuff to freaking take apart and put back together again. If we created a world where people's strengths were accentuated, and I know that they have like these charter schools and magnet school. I wish they had stuff like that when I was a kid. I loved teaching. One of the first I got my first job when I was 15. That was at my high school. But when I was 18, I had gotten a job, and it was at a place in Redding, California. It no longer exists. That timeline is long gone. It was called Carter House Science Museum. It's now moved up the river. They call it the Turtle, I don't know. It's up there. It's up by the Sundial Bridge. All that pretentious, trendy bullshit. Anyway, but when I worked at the Carter House Science Museum, it was like an old house or something like that, mobile home, something like that, and they had all all these little animals and stuff, and they had a summer program, and I was one of the student leads, the adult student leads, and it's like basically 6 to 8 year olds. And I had to do this a lot when I had to go visit Grandma in Atascadero for summers. We're supposed to be visiting Dad, but it was always grandmother. And, but the day camps, where, you drop the kids off in the morning, then at least you got a half day before, that you can entertain them. It was that. It was like, in the off season of swim lessons and stuff like that, stuff that they have people do. So I would, but they would put me in like dance classes and stuff like that, and I was the most awkward. It was so awkward. That was painful for me. It was brutal for me. I don't like this song. Are you drinking enough water? I can't remember what I was talking about. My train of thought just derailed. So, Carter House. So they drop their kids off. Then there's 6 to 8 year olds, and they drop them off in the morning, and then we hang out until, I don't know, mid-afternoon. Or actually, I don't know. They drop. I guess they wouldn't drop them off until 10, but I would have to get there early so we could set up and stage whatever was ready for the day. And we got to learn how to do a lot of really cool stuff. We'd go on field trips. We had them there's a little brick wall that used to be in Caldwell Park by Stony Bench, down by the bridge, and I don't know what all that stuff looks like anymore. But I really instructing the kids, because they'd listen to me. They wouldn't listen to the other the other instructors. But they would listen to me. That was a good gig. That was fun. Good old Carter House Science Museum. It's been long gone. There's a lot of timelines that are ending right now. There's a lot of things that are ending. A lot of long-time restaurants that have been open for 40, 50 years are closing. Tess? Is that what it's called? One in Omaha? I went there one time. It had crawdads. I didn't like it. I guess I got a little too close to the head. It was an unpleasant experience for me. I didn't like it. I don't like crawdads. I don't like. Nope. I like catching stuff. And I'll cook stuff, but I don't like really eating a lot of that stuff. But that place, was it Joe Tess's place? I think, but it's been there forever. But places all over the United States that have been around for a long, long time, or packing it up. The world is just changing, man. Is anything like it was before? Before when? I don't know. But is anything like it was? Things are pretty the same for us, huh? I try to keep things as normal and on a schedule for Mom as I can. Me, I like things a little bit looser, but Mom, but what our schedules, she hasn't really had one lately. Like today she didn't even get up until 10. But it's been starting to get hot, so who cares? Sleep in, relax, enjoy yourself. Well, we went out yesterday. The fence fell over. We got one of those dust devil mini tornado deal things. I heard it. I was laying down. It was windy, and I heard a crash, and I even thought, is that an indoor crash or was that an outdoor crash? Like, what could it be? But I wasn't invested in using or processing any energy at the time to get up to look. But when I took Benny out, it was kind of funny. I make myself laugh because because I am hyper vigilant, but then sometimes some things happen and I'm oblivious to stuff too. I think it's funny how that works. That's why I try not to get too big for my britches, because anyway, so I took Benny out. We're walking around and we come up over the dirt hill like we do, because he likes to 4x4 sometimes. And we come up over the hill and we're walking around, and I look to my left and I see in the neighbor's yard, and there's like 3 sections of the fence that blew over, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I looked, and the ground here, the soil, I lived all over the place, but here in northern New Mexico, it's sandy, but it can pack, but it's sandy. And people make clay and houses with it and stuff like that, but anyway, the wood posts that the fence was on, they snapped at the bottom. They just eroded. It's probably a 20, 30-year fence. 20, 25, 30-year-old fence. At least, so I mean, and it's heavy. So it's basically like, and then that freaking wind just came and just but because pieces are falling off on it all the time, I go out there, I need to get a box of screws, so whenever it happens, I got my hand drill, I could just go out and screw it on. The neighbors, they're nice people, you know it? So yesterday, they were out there looking at it, and I came out, and I was looking at it with them. And they were like, and I was like, who, I don't care who, I don't know who the fence is the responsibility of. I live here and you live here, so whatever I can do to help fix this. And he has a couple young sons, so he's like, I'm gonna put them to work. And I said, and then I came out this afternoon and they were already all working on it. It was like 4:15, 4:20, somewhere around there. And I was like, and because I said yesterday, if you want, I can get some concrete. I'd be glad to contribute. I'll come out and I'll do whatever, And so I ran. It was a mad dash to Ace. I never wanted to go back to this Ace ever again. I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to give him any money, because it was such a fiasco after I first moved here and I went in there one time. And because it was with the whole mask thing and stuff like that. But I started to go out, and they're doing road construction. So it was stopped like right after I turned, and then I see brake lights. I was like, no, this is not going to work. So I had to go all the way back to go the back way to get to the hardware store. And I was like, oh, it's got to, it's probably got to close at 6, right? You got to account for people that, get off work, I mean, even though we're in a podunk town still, nope, closed at 5. I got there just in time. I pulled around back and then came back. They put it in the ground, and I'll go back tomorrow and get a couple other bags, but I see the way where I live. I'm not looking at the whole world. I can't help what other people do on the planet. I think it's a little crazy for people to a little over ambitious for people to be like, oh, save the planet. No. So when I think of like ways to make the community better, because I know a lot of people that have, that are like me, that just have a couple hours incremental time that they could go out and do stuff, and they'd be glad to do stuff. Because like I got a lot of juice in the morning. I don't have quite as much juice in the afternoon as I do in the morning, but in the morning I'm like, dude, they should have like places. Tucker's snoring. They should have places that you can go and get landscaping materials and check them out, and then just go like work on this, just like work in the community. Because where I live, the utilities or municipal people or the city people, I mean, they don't do it. and they can't get people to work where I live. They can't get people to work. Like, there's help wanted signs all over the place. I'm like, man, I would love to work at the one in town. I said, man, if I was in high school, if I went to high school around here, I would just totally get a job at like Ace Hardware, and then just skate through freaking, it's just easy to do. The world is changing so fast, man. I heard a guy this morning, it sucked. This dude I listened to, I subscribe to his channel. He's out in California. He works at Donner, I believe, the ski resort, whatnot out there. And he dabbled in the Bitcoin, and the company that he dabbled with didn't like his... See, people don't understand, because most people live in a city, in a house, and then like you get mail at your front door. But there's a lot of places on the planet that it is not that easy. And more people are going off grid, so it's like, and it's $200, it cost me $200 for 1 year for a PO box. It's crazy. And it's another entity that they can't get people to work in. They just can't get people. It's just, but they took his money because of they didn't like his address. Something happened, and $1,500 of his just gone. And technology, that's the thing, is technology is so fallible because it's made by a bunch of freaking sweaty old dudes. Well, not sweaty old dudes. A lot of them freaking young hipster freaking Adderall junkies. It don't matter. It's all types. But what my point is, technology, it is so fallible. I mean, whenever I go into it's often commonplace that my stuff doesn't work. And every single time I make comment, I'm like, and they want to go to a cashless society? Are you guys gonna be willing to give me products based on my nice smile? Because the technologies don't ever work? No. I know. And people agree. People agree. But right now, people are just at the end of their, I gotta work here because I have to. And then there's gonna be that big shift of they're gonna start getting into doing stuff because they want to. It's already started. They call it the great, I don't know, everybody's quitting. There's just turnover right now. People are just tired of how things were, so they're trying to do things different. If only the advantages were the same for all. If only that were the case. So, just yesterday, fence stuff. Why are you pissy? Are you done nursing? I'm going to put them all up as soon as I'm done with this talk. I'll go put them in because I'll put the food down. I can't leave the food down because there's... But we're we're making it work, huh, Ma? Ma, you like having all the baby kittens out, huh? There's one of them or a couple of them. I'll come out and they'll just be sitting on her lap. Just chilling, sitting on her lap. Huh. Yep. And she'll just be sitting there with the cat, petting the cat. And I'm like, where'd that cat come from? It's hilarious. Of course, she don't tell me because she don't know. But it's starting to get warm. It's starting to get warm around here. But as far, I don't know. It makes me sad because when I was growing up, when I was figuring it out, I knew what my sexuality was, but honestly, I was a homosexual homo for a number of years. I didn't like being around gay people. It's like I didn't like, it's like I was, but I didn't like anything about it. And it took me a long time to come into full acceptance. And a lot of people never come into, regardless of, what it is. Look around the planet, how many people are not coming into an acceptance as to who they are or what they are in life. And all the means and ways that they go in extremes to go through to escape because they can't reach to the point of acceptance. Hi, Tango. So it took me a lot of years to come to my place of acceptance. I hope to help other people, to teach them how to come to their place of acceptance. Of just like, hey, this is the life that you got. This is it. This is the one. Do the best that you can with it, with what you got. It's short, man. Life on this planet is so short and people act like it's not. People treat it like it's not. That better, bud? There you go, baby. There you go, Tango. There you go. That better? Good cat. So short. I've been doing my daily disciplines and living in my one day at a time. Yeah. It's just, it's pretty nutty around where I live. But I've been staying close to home. Mom is wearing her other new sweater. She had her other one on, and I was like, no, it's too hot. It's too hot. You can't, I had to take it off her because it's getting too hot, and the sweater is too thick. So this other sweater that I got her is much, much thinner. She has to have it. It's a comforting thing. And I was looking for them online. I just put in the search bar, old lady sweaters, just to see what comes up. But I found there's a thrift store I'm going to check out here that I think I'll be able to find some that are pretty decent for. But it's hard, primitive lifestyle in small towns, man. It's trying to get like stuff. Oh, it's sometimes you get to get creative, but we never really need much. And Espanola is about 40 miles south, and they at least have a Lowe's down there, but I don't know. I think everybody gets their chance to experience this stuff. This is my first time experience life like this. Yeah. And living in high elevation and stuff like that. So, but that's why we live, is just to have experiences. And I'll never understand those people that just like always do the same thing. Like they even in vacation in the same places. Like it's like, when did you start vacationing here? Oh, we used to come here when I was a kid with my parents. And it's like, well, there's a whole lot of other parts of the world to see, but they just, because they want to capture that moment, they want to capture some sort of feeling, and then people get stuck in loops trying to capture that feeling. It's a trip. I don't want to get stuck in loops. I don't like get stuck in. I like to try this and I like to try that, and heck, Mom, like today, I was like, today I'm gonna give Mom eggs right off the bat before toast, because usually she gets up and has toast, but I got up and I'd already been awake an hour and a half, so I just made her eggs right off, and that was a lot different. But these are the ways that I can mix it up until our shift happens. Huh, Mom? My eyes burn, and it's no smoke. I know, Benny. They've been doing those freaking elections and stuff. I hate that. It's a freaking pony show, dude. It's a circle joke. It's a circle jerk. It's a pony show. It's a bunch of bullshit. They siphon a bunch of... It's like, dude, the money that they freaking waste on these freaking elections, that could freaking house a lot of people. But they don't care, when it has to do with people, they don't care. They want people to suffer. That's why people suffer. They want people to fall through the cracks of society. That's why people are falling through the cracks of society. It's all by design. And if people want to help remedy that, then we're going to have to get creative and come together to remedy that.